Hey everybody, Donald for Otaku Podcast, here with a sneak peek of something that I've been working on for the past, day I would say. An iPhone app. I'm actually learning iPhone development thanks to the free course that Stanford offers through iTunes U. And I'm now an official developer signed up with Apple. I have my approval and I can publish to the App Store and all that happy fun stuff. So I thought for my first app that I would write a app for the my podcast, Otaku no Podcast. So, like I said, I started this about a day ago, and I've actually been able to make a lot of progress in just this one day. This is a testament, I think, to how really nice the iPhone development environment and all the tools are, and the APIs and all that stuff. So I thought I'd give you guys a sneak peek as to how this is going, and kind of to give my ideas of where I'll be taking this. So let's take a look. First thing, before we start, I want to mention that the screen update is going to seem a little jerky. That's because of the technology I'm using to capture my iPod screen. It's a jailbreak application called Display Recorder, and unfortunately it doesn't have the world's best frame rate. So animations will seem a bit jerky. Bear in mind that on the actual device, on a real iPhone or iPod, it'll be nice and smooth. Also, this app is extremely pre-alpha. A lot of things don't work, and I'm having a lot of problems with some of the things that do sort of work, like my video playback, which you'll see in a minute. But hey, I've only been working on this for a day, so give me a break. So let's take a look. When you launch the app, we get this nice splash screen. Got to advertise and all that. And first, right front and center, you get put on the latest episode. Now, this is just a mock-up, obviously, but basically, on this latest episode screen, the program will go out and search the Otaku no Podcast RSS feed and pull out the latest episode, and it'll display, the episode name and the date that it was published, and this little box here where you can read the show notes. And a play button that you can actually play the episode. If it's an audio episode, it'll play the audio, and if it's a video episode, it'll actually play the video on your iPhone screen. But right now, this is just test code, so I just have a little test button. In fact, the audio test doesn't even work yet. I haven't written that part yet, but I do have a little video test. So let's take a look at that. And again, this code is extremely pre-alpha. As you can see, first of all, it doesn't even tilt. If I tilt the phone sideways, it doesn't tilt. But also, the video playback it could use some work.
Greetings, and welcome to yet another Otaku no Podcast videocast. Tonight, I'm going to teach you how to make a classic Japanese dish, one that you've probably had many times before.
Anyways,
yakitori,
you get the idea.
otherwise known as chicken on a stick. This dish is...
So that's the latest episode page. Now also notice here that we have a subscribe in iTunes link, and what this will do is it actually launches the iTunes store app on the iPod or iPhone and goes to the Otaku no Podcast podcast page. You can look, see our reviews. We only have one review. Somebody please go in and review us. And take a look at our previous episodes and stuff. We also have here on our latest episode screen the older episode screen. So we click through to that, and again, this is a mock-up. This is basically a web view that's showing the podcasts category on Otaku no Podcast's mobile site. This is obviously not going to be the final what this is going to look like in the end. Basically, what I'll be doing is I'll write code that searches the Otaku no Podcast RSS feed, pulls out all the podcasts and displays them in a list. You can click through and listen to any episode, any of our recent episodes, and it'll look, graphically it'll look a lot better than this. But this is kind of an idea of where I'm going with this. So, this is kind of similar to what it'll look like. So say we want to click here through the episode 14, it'll actually load that up, let you view the show notes, and let you play it. But again, this is just a mock-up, so, things will change. And obviously, you can go back to the latest episode screen by pressing the latest episode button. Now let's take a look at the next tab, which is the news tab. And again, just a mock-up. This is basically just a web view of our mobile Otaku no Podcast website. But the idea here is the my app is going to go out to the Otaku no Podcast website and display a listing of our latest blog entries, and you'll be able to scroll through them, find one that you want to read, click through it, and read it. So you kind of get the idea. Next tab here is the Calendar tab. And what this is it's basically a look at our Google Calendar, where I put up events for all the conventions and other things that I'll be going to. Unfortunately, right now I don't have anything in my immediate future. In mid-April, I may be going to the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. I don't know yet. But basically, this is basically a web view showing the Google Calendar page. And I don't know if this is the best way to display Google Calendar. Maybe Google has some API that'll allow me to be able to present this in a neater fashion, or maybe not. So this is kind of the idea of what I'll be doing here, is basically displaying a calendar showing our up and coming events. The next tab over is the Twitter feed tab, and like the name implies, it'll show our latest tweets. And this right now is still just placeholder mostly. It's a web view showing the mobile Twitter page, the mobile Twitter website, showing the Otaku no Podcast account. But I'll be able to probably write some code that goes through the Twitter RSS feed, and it'll present all of our tweets in a more graphically pretty fashion. So that's the Twitter tab. The final tab, the Contact Us tab, is actually probably the only tab that actually works more or less in this app right now. And again, these are the ways that you can contact us. So by email, if you type on that, it'll actually slide up a little email compose window where you can type in whatever, blah blah blah, and send us off an email. You can also tap the by phone button, and if you're on an iPhone, it'll actually dial our new voice call-in line. Unfortunately, this is an iPod Touch, so as you can see, it doesn't do anything. Well, it just says that you need an iPhone for this. Now, this last one is kind of interesting. It's the by Skype button. We have a Skype account where you can leave us voicemail, and this is cool because if you actually have Skype installed on your iPhone or iPod Touch, and Skype is a free app, if you have Skype installed, it'll actually open up Skype and dial us. So let's try this out. And Skype opens up, and it asks whether we want to call Otaku no Podcast. And yes, we do. So then you'll be able to call us and leave us a voicemail and so forth. My internets are a little bit laggy right now, so that's why it's not going through. But you get the idea. Anyways, there you have it. A little sneak peek of my hopefully soon to be in the App Store Otaku no Podcast app. If you've got any ideas of new features I could add, or ways that I can implement the things that I talked about, drop me a line. You can email me at feedback@otakunopodcast.com. You can call us on our Skype line. You can call us on our voice line. You can find me on Twitter. There's like over 9,000, well, not really over 9,000, but quite a few ways to contact us. Go to the otakunopodcast.com website and click on the Contact Us link to find out how. Anyways, this is Donald from Otaku no Podcast saying sayonara and jane.